5'8" little peon. If we were in the streets, I would grab that little ginger and smack him upside the head and make him forget who the he was.
I'm gonna keep it a full-on buck with you guys. If you don't think Jake Paul's gonna win, you know nothing. You know nothing. I am a casual. I've never been in a fight before, but I like sports and I like watching fighting. I'm telling you guys right now, Jake Paul wins this fight. It's very obvious.
The fighters and, you know, actual fighters, some shine. It also has done for women's boxing a lot. So I'm not mad at him for what he's been in boxing, what he's created. This is a little crazy right here. This is a little crazy. And a lot of people will say, Tank is too small.
Jake Paul issued a bold warning to Gervonta Tank Davis during a live stream. He told fans that anyone doubting him is making a mistake, stressing that he takes training and preparation seriously. Paul insisted he's confident in his ability, claiming Tank won't be able to withstand his power and that the upcoming fight will prove his critics wrong.
He would potentially kill you if you got on the ring with him.
He's a 5'8" little peon. If we were in the streets, I would grab that little ginger and smack him upside the head and make him forget who the he was. People don't realize I'm a real killer. I really do this. YouTube this, YouTube that, Disney that. This is not a joke. I'm knocking out the best of the best, beating all of these people time in and time again. And it's about time that you old heads and all these boxers who think they know about the sport put some respect on my name.
Streamer Aiden Ross strongly believes Jake Paul will shock the world against Gervonta Davis. He argues that people dismissing Jake simply don't understand boxing, pointing out that Paul has improved with every fight and now has the tools to challenge elite fighters. For Ross, Jake is no longer just a YouTuber. He's a dangerous contender whose discipline and determination make him a real threat. He insists this fight is not about Tank's legacy, but about Jake's rise.
I'm gonna be real with you guys. I'm gonna be very surprised if Jake's not favored on the sports betting on sports. Like all you guys saying and all this do you guys understand that it's all about weight and shit? Like, all right, I'm gonna keep it a full-on buck with you guys. If you don't think Jake Paul's gonna win, you know nothing. You know nothing. I am a casual. I've never been in a fight before, but I like sports and I like watching fighting. I'm telling you guys right now, Jake Paul wins this fight. It's very obvious, right? It's very, very, very obvious.
Critics say Gervonta Davis's biggest weakness isn't inside the ring, but outside of it, specifically his lack of selling power. While Jake and Logan Paul have master promotion and turned fights into massive spectacles, Davis has struggled to generate the same buzz. Analysts argue that this matchup only feels global because of Jake's star power, and without him, Tank wouldn't have the same level of attention.
Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. You have the Paul brothers and they come over to boxing. Their idea from day one is we don't have the skills or the experience. What we're gonna do is we'll take on the absolute best guys, but they're gonna spot us some pounds. Tank has one job to do, that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skills, of which I am an abundance of and of which you have none of. Tank is telling anybody that will listen that there's a size problem. My skills and my experience in boxing, I do not have to wonder who's in the bar tonight. Any bar I go to, I rule the bar. No, it turns out that you don't. Just need some big guy to corner you, apparently. Boxing has never stood its ground. Boxing has never been able to explain why Floyd needed a half hour to get rid of a guy who's never boxed before. Tank Davis has already began this. When you choose a dum-dum, don't be surprised when he goes out and acts like a dum-dum.
Shakur Stevenson blasted Gervonta Davis for accepting a fight with Jake Paul. He said it's a disrespect to boxing, especially since Davis had bigger opportunities in his own division, including a potential fight with Stevenson himself that would have cemented Tank's legacy. Instead, Stevenson believes Tank took the easier route, chasing a money grab against a celebrity boxer rather than proving himself against real champions.
You got your eye on Tank. What do you think about the rumors of Tank and Jake fighting?
Man, Tank disrespectful to the sport if he choose that over fighting with me. I'm the best fighter in the sport. I've been telling him that. And he called cap on it. So if you gonna call cap and say I'm not who I say I am, come prove it.
Hey, Oladipo took a different stance, criticizing the timing of the fight. He argued that both Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis are still in their prime years, and a crossover event like this should happen later in their careers. He compared it to Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul, which made sense as an exhibition after Mayweather's peak. In Oladipo's view, Tank and Jake have bigger, more meaningful fights ahead of them, and this bout comes too soon.
Whether you agree with it or not, Gervonta is considered the #1 lightweight in the world. And it's a division that includes Shakur Stevenson, a lot of young guns coming up. I'm not any more sure if it's going to include Keyshawn Davis, but it's a hot division. He's considered #1 in that division. Like, that's why I kind of find this a bit, don't know. Like, there are challenges out there for Gervonta. There are big money fights out there for Gervonta. We want to see Gervonta in those fights. Again, I don't know how many fights people want to see AJ in, just to make the AJ Jake Paul comparison. One, as far as I'm concerned, that was Tyson Fury. I don't really have any interest in seeing an AJ in any other more fights. Whereas Gervonta Davis, I wanted and still do want to see him in so many more fights. So, yeah, it's kind of weird. These exhibition things are, like, really and truly, they should all be when your career's done. Like, when you think of Floyd versus Logan Paul, done, right? Floyd versus Conor, did he have one more after, or was that it? I can't even remember. But it was right at the end, it was done, right at the end, even if it wasn't, right at the end. These guys having these exhibition fights in between what is the peak of their career is kind of weird for me. Very, very weird. And then it isn't even comparable to Ngannou Fury, because at least these guys were the same size. Like, Jake Paul is a 215, 220 pound guy. I don't know what he walks around at. Gervonta fights at 135. I'm guessing he walks around about 155. Like, what? Like, Jake Paul, I've been around him. I'm 5'11", I'd say he's 6'1". Gervonta, I've been around him, I'd say he's 5'4", 5'5", max. And you know, a lot of these guys wear those big heels.
Paulie Malignaggi got heated while debating the matchup with Chris Algieri. He argued that knockouts only matter when they come against elite competition, not in manufactured setups, citing legends like Felix Trinidad and Mike Tyson. Paulie said true knockout artists prove themselves against the very best. He accused Tank of avoiding top names in stacked divisions and dismissed the fight with Jake Paul as nothing more than a cash grab that insults boxing's history.
Look at Jake Paul's career.
You can manufacture that though. You can manufacture that though. You can manufacture.
You can't manufacture.
To a degree, you can. To a degree. I mean, you can't. Yeah, Gervonta legitimately cannot get knockouts. I agree. He can punch, but there's a lot of limited knockout artists though, man.
He's one of the least active punchers in the game with the highest knockout percentage of current heavyweight.
But if he was a real knockout artist, if he was a real knockout artist, prop him up against the best of the best. Felix Trinidad was a knockout artist. He was knocking out the best of the best. If you're a real knockout artist, prop him up against the best and show us how he smokes them. But the way
Paulie,
we did when Felix Trinidad was doing it. You know, the way they did when Mike Tyson was doing it in his prime. Okay, say what you want about the Mike Tyson era. He knocked out everyone from 1986 to 1989. Everyone got knocked out. Everyone.
Well, by your standard, you could say that Tyson was to a degree manufactured.
No, because he fought everyone that was there. Everyone that was there at that time he fought.
Teddy Atlas will 100% agree with this.
With the expense of Witherspoon.
That were afraid of him.
With the exception of Witherspoon. No, but they all, doesn't matter. He knocked them all out. There was nobody you could say in that era except maybe Witherspoon, who had contract issues with King at the time. Except for Witherspoon, there is nobody Tyson didn't fight in that era. He knocked them all out. You can't say like, oh, but if he would have fought that guy, I don't know. No, with Davis, there's guys right now that have been hanging around for years. Yo, dude, when are you going to fight them? The lightweight division was stacked with talent. Even at 130, it had a lot of talent when he was there. Didn't fight almost any of them. So it's not the same thing as the Tyson era. You want to say anything about Tyson era? Fine. It wasn't as high level or something. He still knocked out everyone. There was nobody there in that era that you can say Tyson didn't fight.
Didn't say it was related. It was the same as the Tyson era. Didn't say it at all. I was actually going to say the opposite when you talk about Trinidad. Trinidad is a bona fide superstar, and the way that he was, and like you said, he
stepped him up and he knocked out.
And he was a knockout punches. No, of course.
Many analysts see Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis as a spectacle rather than a true boxing contest. They argue Jake isn't championship level, so chasing belts isn't realistic for him. Instead, this fight is about attention and entertainment, especially with Netflix backing it. Some predict Tank will completely dominate with his superior skill and speed, while others say the unusual matchup itself is what makes it appealing. At the end of the day, it's hype and spectacle over legacy.
Like, I think he's tactfully, as I said, I think he's tactfully saying, like, oh,
even if
he's
if he's promoting it the other way, I've been very consistent on my Jake Paul thoughts. I will reiterate one more time. I would rather see this because it's a spectacle than him versus Ryan Borland or Andre August or chasing these like quote unquote championship dreams in boxing. I don't think he's a championship level boxer. I don't really care about that journey. I want to see him in spectacles. Netflix is going to air Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. So to me, this is,
Do you think it will do well?
It will be watched. It will be watched.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. A lot of people are going to watch.
I would rather see Anthony Joshua just because that has been put out there and is on the table. But I will watch this.
I saw some people breaking this down on, it was a non-fight pod. It was, I don't remember which one. And they were saying like, oh, Tank's going to kill him. Tank's going to kill him because he won't be able to touch Tank. And then
boxer Stephen Fulton came to Gervonta Davis's defense amid criticism. While many accuse Tank of chasing easy money instead of legacy-defining fights, Fulton argued that people should respect Davis's right to secure massive paydays. He reminded fans that boxing careers are short and fighters have families to think about. From Fulton's perspective, there's nothing wrong with Tank taking a fight that guarantees life-changing money, even if hardcore fans are frustrated.